Hello, Star Realms people. I hope you're all excited about us showing up Thursday night to coach viewers from other streams. I am here to unbox the wonderfully spectacular Fox experiment, or as I like to call it, Fox Span, since it is the new Elizabeth Hargraves game, and the game she does now will be something Span.
Hey Al, I think everything's working just fine.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. I'm sure our one viewer, Catman Guianos, will tell us if it's not. But I'm led to believe that there will be zero technical. I can't say that with a straight face. I'm led to believe that things will be okay today. At least.
Ooh, you can hear both of us now. Do we hear is there an echo, or is the echo just permanently stuck in my head now?
I think you've got kind of traumatized echo, kind of post-traumatic echo syndrome is what I think you've got.
Post-traumatic echo syndrome. That sounds about right. And we got Dion here, and of course, Commissioner.
Dion in chat too, Guianos, Cranky Day, who reminded us, the Commissioner reminded us that he is also a viewer. Very little echo. It sounds more like a mic feature. Okay, well, I like that. That sounds good. Okay. Well, I think I did have limited time today, as I said to a couple of people. I was kind of getting home from work from 6 till I had about 20 minutes after I'd wolfed down a bit of scram.
So no Fox meeples then. We don't have time for this.
I think the Fox meeples are out right now. But we did. Al and I did have like a very short amount of time to go over, and we had echo again. And I was like, oh, please, no, not again. But I think we troubleshot it, so I think we should be good. So that does mean if I'm going to be the bad guy and we're not going to go into Fox meeples, that we can in fact excitingly go into an actual show with like stuff and things. I have faith you can introduce the echo somehow mid-show. I mean, I could, now that I know how to do it, I could actually do it deliberately. That is that is naughtily true, but I'm gonna try and avoid that particular pitfall. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna remind ourselves. I need to transition that out so that we don't have the snaz in the way. We're gonna look at how the standings are set out as we go into round 2, and so there we can see we've got hit of the Baskervilles, and you'll note, or at least I hope the Commissioner does, that this table is perhaps more aligned with the feedback that we received at the end of the last episode, which is that the sort was perhaps inefficiently applied. So we have hit of the Baskervilles leading the pack with 1 win and a breaker of 7 there after their victory over Catchup Tails. We've got Catcher in the Spry and Hitmakers Guide to the Borloxy fast on their heels, both with a win also, and 4 breakers apiece. Then close behind those, we've got To Catch a Mockingbird, Rip's team there with a couple of breakers, and Crane and Punishment in that nail biter with Brand New World coming away with 0 breakers because it was so tight and it went to a race-off. Murder on the Dodgeball Express not playing last week, so they're up on deck this week with no results yet to be applied. And then we've got Brand New World, Good Throwmans, The Great Catchby, Fellowship of the Fling, and last but not least, Al, apparently my subconscious desire to keep you out of last spot was the thing that affected the filter. The strongest team in all the league, Catchup Retails, holding everyone else aloft with no wins and no breakers. So there we go. That is where we stand. How does that make you feel, Al, that the commissioner insisted that you were bottom?
It sounds like business as usual.
It's like business as usual, doesn't it, just? So now that we know what we're doing, we're going to go into the T section. Now, we after the initial, I guess, glee at having SRDB Tatler open again, the T did dry up just a little bit in round 2. So I would remind everyone, and Al, if you can drop that in chat, that srdbtatler@gmail.com is a real Gmail address where you genuinely can send things and they will come into the T box. So please do that. We've got a few bits. The first one, Al, is what I'd like to call Cheating in Dodgeball, a story in 3 parts. So this comes to us from Crane and Punishment, who are so intent on winning that they're having like win at all costs dream sequences. So a very vivid dream I had last night. As a team, we decided to pover the official Dodgeball rules. We couldn't find anywhere that it said throws had to be Star Realms itself. So we decided we could throw other actual games. Jonathan Bishop, aka Darth Binkley, earning a 90% hit rate by hitting people with checkers. How we get to a 30 differential in checkers, apparently no one can fathom. We didn't tell Cranky, of course, but the commissioner always finds out in the end. Like the Mounties, he'll always get his man. Then Chaz reported to us from Captain's chat, it's bad. He's threatening to expel our whole team for the season. And then my 5-year-old woke me up. So desperate to win, Al, that they're willing to corner case the rules, the official Dodgeball rules, in the dreams. And
force us to play boring games too. It couldn't have been something interesting. It had to be checkers,
like Everdell or Tapestry or the Fox game you just highlighted. Maybe a bit of crikey. I mean, even Dominion. I mean, that would be sacrilege because it's a different deck builder. But even Dominion would be better than checkers, wouldn't it? Surely
better than checkers.
However, perhaps Justice almost... Oh, I didn't add it. Oh, it's in a different one. Well, I'll have to read it out. So the bit I added that apparently makes this a different link. So apparently Justice almost finding its way to Aldarin when he almost accidentally forfeited a throw right at the end of a match in which one more hit was needed on the opposing player. And it would have been a catch and a revive for the opposing team. He pressed concede and was only saved, Al, by that very cautious button that's been added by the Star Realms team. Are you sure? So, is that a case to maybe...
I feel like we should contact Wise Wizard and see about getting rid of that "Are you sure" button.
Yeah, it feels like it's not needed. Maybe.
No. Sounds like it's just getting us into troubles.
Chasm was the type of captain that would sell out his clever rules lawyer to me in Donut Chat in a heartbeat. I think in an absolute heartbeat. Yeah, absolutely. So that's the end of the TL. But we do have, and I think a lot of people have seen this, but I really think that if you haven't seen this, you absolutely need to. There was a kind of a physical meetup recently that Brent organized in was it an arcade, like pinball arcade bar? Yeah.
It's a huge arcade bar in Chicago called the Galloping Ghost. Has hundreds of old arcade games, and then a separate site with just hundreds of pinball machines.
And so at this meetup, I was to find out later that you were somewhat integral into the creation of this, but at that meetup, there was a game of Guess Who, wasn't there? But not just any Guess Who, Al. This was Star Realms, Dodgeball, Guess Who.
Yeah.
So first up, we've got Seraphina DG3, Hypaspist, Wet Yeti, PC Load Letter, One Carlos, SilentAl, looking, I must say, majestic in the corner. Tatiana, bracketed by Darklighter, also looking equally majestic in the other corner. So that's 9 of the players. We've then got another 9 here. Poop Deck, October, Dusto, Nautical Stew, Sir Thestral looking slightly squiffy in the middle. VQ, Rollin Par, Chasmo, and Mcolo. And then I got a question about one of these, but I'll come back to that. We got Brent, Sturrock, Borizori, Super Grandma, Cranky Day, who looks absolutely fabulous. And Simply Steph, who... forgive me if I'm wrong, but isn't even playing Dodgeball, Al.
Yeah, but you tell me which is worse, including her in something about Dodgeball that even though she's not playing this season, or trying to exclude her from anything.
I mean, this is fair. This is fair. Certainly an easier task to include than exclude. So this is kind of, this was created by October, in case you're wondering. So this is the game of Guess Who for Star Realms Dodgeball. Now, Al, if I remember rightly my conversation with October, instead of like the normal Guess Who shenanigans, like do they have a beard, do they have glasses, do they have short hair, the questions were a bit more. If you want to play this, apparently you can feel free to print this out and play it yourself. But the questions are a little more esoteric, aren't they, in nature? Like, how likely on a scale of 1 to 10 would this dodgeballer be to wear a dress? Or do you think I could beat this dodgeballer in a game of Bavarian leg wrestling?
Yeah.
So if you want to play this, I think in the spirit of the game, you have to kind of bring out those sorts of questions, the kind of nutty hat stand questions that really get to the depths of the soul of these players.
Right. I think it was... she had seen a video where people were playing, but you weren't allowed to guess based on physical characteristics.
Yeah, which makes
so you're like, who, does your character, is your character's like parents proud of the occupation they chose?
Yeah.
And so when she said that, I was like, I'd play that, but only if it was with Star Realms community members. And then she came back with this, and I was immediately remorseful that I wasn't able to make it to the meetup.
Right. It looks like it was going to be that would be a really good time. So I'm honored to be included in that, and I think October's mentioned great, like limited amount of time, hasn't put everyone in, and maybe a disproportionate amount of rogues, which I heard Cranky Day, the commissioner, was thoroughly upset about. But I think there's going to be some revisions to this in the future as well to make a bigger pool of Guess Whoers. But I just thought that was really worth sharing because I just think that's an absolutely fabulous addition to the community and a thoroughly good giggle. But it's time for a new feature, Al. We're going to go to the training ground now. Must apologize to the team last week because I didn't really think of this in time. But it appeared to me in the intervening week that there's a team who's not going to get to see the spotlight. Right? They're not in Court 1, 2, 3, or 5. So they're going to be a bit like Sad Sack, and they're not going to get mentioned. Well, turns out Mcolo took the great Catchup out onto the training ground to test their legs after their first round defeat against the collected works of William Shakespeare. Captained by Lady Macbeth, she had Christopher Sly, Nick Bottom, Falstaff, Dick the Butcher, Yorick, and Dold Tearsheet on side. And according to my sources, Al, Lady Macbeth immediately took out One Carlos, Lux 16, and Zwivix with only one ball. Christopher Sly throwing at both VQ and Sabella, but failing abysmally and succumbing to their throws, as you would expect of him. Nick Bottom apparently not taking part in the game and doing a bit of a Brent, really kind of just wandering off, being slightly odd, maybe playing the fool. And we can't really talk about what Dick the Butcher was up to. But Yorick, a spineless performance. and Doltaire Sheet not really with it either. So I'll be interested in Mkolo's take on the events of this training ground, but it'll be fun to see next week who the opposition is. But apparently this is one for the ages, and I don't believe the collected works of William Shakespeare, as tough as Lady Macbeth is and as fierce as a competitor as she is, I don't think they came out on top, Al. I think it was a sound whipping for them.
That would probably be right.
There you go. You've never seen a supermodel. I don't know what Grandma's talking about, which is not unusual, but there we go. So anyway, the training ground Mkolo, great catch he took on the collected works of William Shakespeare. Perhaps we'll see more of that next week, and maybe even a bit more preparation. Apparently we've got a blank screen now, which is always good. And then on to Court 1. It's Brain New World versus Catcher in the Spry. Here we have Corey Bear captains his team against Dion Lunsford's team. A winning record for Catcher in the Spry coming into this. Brain New World just missing out in a race-off in the first game. And let's see how this pans out. So after the races end, Al, we've got Corey Bear, myself, Connor, and Zim all with balls, with Darklighter, CJK Flyer, and Agent Sato coming out with race balls. So pretty even split there. But as we move in, it's 2 deaths in 3 balls as PC Load Letter and Bathoris both bite the dust very quickly, falling to Yarboa and Corey Bear himself with a failed attempt by myself, I believe, in the process. It's then another swift death and on each side as Riska and Sarah T join the ranks of the bench. The game moving pretty swiftly, pretty steadily. Some good to and fro's, a couple of misses in there, but it's really here where the shenanigans start. We lose Cisco Alvarez. We see a revived PC Load Letter, but also I think Dion Lunsford and Agent Sato take the bullet. So kind of an exchange for Catcher in the Spry as they gain PC Load Letter, the Ass Clown himself, but lose Agent Sato and Dion Lunsford. Arguably not a wonderful trade there, Al. But the Brain New World is down an extra body as they're getting whittled as well. The next passage of play, kind of a little bit of feeling out of the opposition. There is another catch though, and Sarah T joins back into the fray. We lose yet another brainer as Zim 108 goes down, and things starting. We've gone from kind of 4-on-4. Before that, it was equal sides, but now it's 4-on-3. It's starting to look grim if you're Corey Bear, and it looks even worse if we dial forward again, because now it's just Connor against the world, as everybody else on his side is eliminated, and only for the exchange of a second Ass Clown, and then it's all over as Connor can't fight the good fight. He does take out Sarah T on the way, but it's not enough, and that's a solid victory for Catcher in the Spry there in 36 movements. That's a fairly quick game if we're and there was a fair passage of play there where nothing was going on, but the hits kept coming, and it's all over bar the singing. Catcher in the Spry recording their second victory in 2 rounds there. Good job them.
Yeah.
A person of the match, Al, an MVP. What have we got going on there?
I am going to go with CJK Flyer. 2 hits, got a catch, but here's the ridiculous part. He had an 88% win percentage for the match.
That's like, did he lose 1 game then? Is that what happened?
He lost 1 game. He was 7 for 8.
Wow, that's a really good round. Solid performance.
Yeah.
Workmanlike. Dion should be super happy with that performance.
Oh yeah.
We were a bit sad because we do okay, and apparently
not.
But we'll move to Court 2. We've got the hit of the Baskervilles against Crame and Punishment. So Tatiana and Chasmo butting heads here, both with positive records. One a landslide victory, and the other one a a race off to the death. So what's going to happen in this one is anyone's guess. We've got, as we join the races, we've got Dakaran, October, Darth Binkley, Markbot 3000, Tatiana, J-Dodds, and Cbus Ripper all winning balls. So again, a fairly even split on the race coverage there. We're going to go forward straight into a hit. It's going to be Markbot 3000 dying at the hands of Cbus Ripper, taking out his foe with aplomb with his first throw of the match, and a couple of kind of dodges and misses going on elsewhere. But next is an absolutely brutal volley of play, Al, where 4, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 of the Baskervilles go biting down. It's Darth Binkley responsible for one of them. We've got October in the mix there as well. And just people falling by the wayside left, right, and center. Absolute carnage. And as we hop off here on move 17, we've got Dakaran throwing at Cornatius, Drew the Rat throwing at Sir Thestral, and Cbus Ripper throwing at October. So if those balls all come off, we could be looking at a fairly even split. We'll dial forward. 2 of them do, and we do get a catch, so we do have a revival as well. Here, as Dakaran gets revived, and Sir Thestral and Chasmo himself get knocked down. But now it's kind of what I like about this game, Alex. It's a real kind of like, all right, you all throw, then we'll all throw, then you all throw again. So now it's Cornatius, October, and Darth Binkley with balls out. So we're kind of even, but not for long, because another Baskerville goes down, but there's a revival on Cream and Punishment side. And so Markbot comes back into the fray. October out on Tatiana and Darth Binkley against Dakaran with no balls out from the Baskervilles at this point. So they do take Cornatius, but there's a couple of revivals as well, and in fact we see Nautical. Is it Nautical Stew? I think I'm having trouble seeing that with the size of the text, but Nautical Stew looks like he gets revived and then gets hit straight back to Kingdom Come. Meanwhile, Sir T's revived and exchanges for Cornatius. So a fairly tactical passage of play there. Again, it's still 5-on-3, but now it's looking really bad. Guianos' name popping up there as he takes out Markbot 3000, but he was dead himself. That was a zombie ball as he was knocked out by Sir T. Chasmo, in the process of all of this, is getting revived. Markbot's eliminated again, but Tatiana's also eliminated, and it's just Dakaran. Now, at this point, I think there was some conversation about whether the game slowed because Dankaran, of course, Dakaran's evil twin, got involved maybe with some failed throws from Crime and Punishment. I'm not 100% certain, but that's what I heard anyway. But it didn't last too long. I mean, Dakaran put up a good fight for sure. He was hard to hit, but he couldn't resist in the end the attentions of Crime and Punishment. And it's a solid victory there for Chasmo's team as they take out Dakaran and take out that match. But this was the one where Aldarin had a game at Dakaran and almost conceded it and almost turned the match around on a hairpin with it would have been obviously a revival and an elimination. So what could have been, and we'll definitely petition the Star Realms dev team hard to make sure that justice for Dakaran occurs. But in terms of MVPs, Al, where are we looking at?
I am looking at an argument could be made for Aldarin, but since he almost fat-fingered them into a catch, I'm gonna go with October.
Sounds good. Yeah.
She got 3 hits. She played a ton of games. She played 11 games, and she had a 73% win percentage.
And just on that note, we've actually just had Derek pop into chat. Derek Weller, of course. Dakaran. Justice. #justice for Dakaran. Solidarity, Derek. We're here for you, mate. We'll we'll push that agenda. Justice for Dakaran, 2020.
Actually, his is Justice for Dankaran.
Oh, is it Justice for Dankaran? Maybe this is all a clever ruse, Al. Maybe Dakaran is Dankaran in disguise.
You know, I suspect that there are some people who made some Smurf accounts based on misspellings of their names. Because just in my BGG league this week, Bork posted a win against Wheels, but apparently he had challenged the wrong Wheels with a Z instead of Wheels with an S.
Oh,
and
had
to be corrected and replay the game in which he lost. So I'm thinking Dakaran and Dankaran might be the same. Wheels and Wheels might be the same. I think I need to sign up and get my Silent AI account.
Silent AI account. I would pay good money to see that. I would crowdfund the heck out of that. So yeah, let's get Silent AI up that ladder, and maybe Al could have 2 accounts in the top 10. That would be amazing.
Because I don't play this game enough.
True story. So we're on to court 3. This is Rips to Catch a Mockingbird versus the unfortunate winners of round 1's losing category, Catchup Tales, Agency 13, the Kitty Man, coming up, hopefully for a good result. So the races are here, and it's again, all round they've been fairly even splits. We've had no kind of complete whitewash of the races. We've got Clever Missy, Rip, Double Dubs, SilentAl, Cyberduck, Lady Stacy 7, and Starmarkle with balls at the beginning of this race game. And as we move into the first period of this match, Al, it is absolutely brutal. We've got 5 bodies on the floor. Osmosis Brent falling first, quickly followed by Daly, yeah. Must be is Daly a Hero Realms player, that rookie that came in? Is that
he's a Hero Realms rookie.
Yeah. Clearly finding this particular match too hot. But Lady Stacy 7 and an Agency 13 himself fall next, quickly followed by opposing Captain Rip. And it's just absolute bedlam in the first 7 throws of this match, Al. Just total annihilation. Love to see it. If you're not involved in the game. We then have a lull.
Mm-hmm.
You know, things mostly happening between yourself and Polites, it seems. Until he hits you. Is that what happened? It looks like you're just throwing at each other and then like some sort of silent pact about until one of us dies.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. We just kept throwing back and forth at each other until until he got the hit. I think it all happened like in one evening too. I think that's why we kept throwing at each other. We were both active that one evening. So it was like, oh, we'll just let's get it done. Only one man survives this night, and it wasn't me.
And Polites C was that man, bringing the game to all wrapped up at 4 bodies apiece. And you'll never believe what happens next. It's Revival Central. So Clever Missy bites the bullet, but in return, Lady Stacy joins the match again with a revival there, and everyone's favorite Brent comes back into the fray, probably with a song involved, I'm sure. And again, if you're new, especially if you've joined us from Hero Realms and you're not familiar with Brent, he likes to write song lyrics every match in which he's involved in, and he does something with a ball. So check those out because they are quite funny, and he's quite often found to be hanging around the wrong court for the wrong reasons at the wrong time. But nevertheless, this is now a 4-on-5. You're outnumbered by Mockingbird. We're going to move into the late stages of the game. Now it's 3-on-3 as Lady Stacy gets taken out, but in exchange, you've got Starmark and Osmosis Brent again, both needing a little breather as their buttocks hit the bench. The 3-on-3, Poop Deck Double Dub Super Grandma against Tuna Slap, Cyberduck, and Polites C. and then this happens. I'm sure not what you would have liked, Al, but you lose Poop Deck, and in exchange, your opponents get 2 back. So Daly and Rip both joining back as they're revived. 5-on-2. I've heard Double Dubs is pretty good. Is he as good as Super Grandma? And can that dynamic duo take the game? Well, after much back and forth, Daly does go for a song, so it's 4-2. But no. In short order, Super Grandma and then Double Dubs, both taken out by Tuna Slap and Polites collectively, and it's a quick folding at the end there, Al, as Catch a Mockingbird take a victory off Catchup Tails, who remain winless.
Yeah.
I mean, no different from my team. We're winless too. Solidarity, post solidarity, that is.
Apparently, the thing is, if we did, win, then people would just say, collusion and cheating.
Yeah, match fixing. It's, the same old, but
I mean, technically, we don't really even have to win. We can just report whatever we want.
I mean, we could. I mean, a bit like propaganda, I suppose. Regardless of what the results were, we could put any old slice up and put. And maybe we should do that next week, Al.
Maybe that's what we do. We just sort of make it up as we go. Why not?
Maybe Catchup Tails and Brand New World should just mysteriously win 3 matches next week when they're only playing 1 and end top.
Next week, if you put our teams on the top of the standings, Cranky will have an embolism.
Oh, he'll have an absolute fit. It would be amazing to watch. And so Catchup Tails are top with 4 wins out of 3 rounds and a breaker of 60. Who knew? Oh, I'm not sure I'm brave enough, Al. I'm brave enough to joke about it. I'm not sure that I'm brave enough to put it down in the written form. So
that's right.
We'll see about that. Maybe in the T section.
If there's one thing we've learned this season after having to move from your channel to a new SRDB Twitch channel is that we are both utterly replaceable.
100%. 100% replaceable. And arguments could be made that would be actually an improvement. Before we do move on, I know I've brought us to Court 4, but there is an MVP to award for that last match. And I'm guessing it's going to be from Mockingbird.
Yeah. It is going to be Politis C. 3 hits, 1 catch, and most notably, the man who eliminated me. So,
well, I mean, you go. One of those things counts more than the others, so fair enough.
That's true.
So congrats to Chris for his made-up award. Very well done. But we're going to move to Court 4. This is Hitmaker's Guide to the Bollocksy. DG3's team, winners in round 1 against another losing team of round 1, Good Throwmans, captained by Wet Yeti. And both pretty solid lineups there, Al. So we'll see how this one goes. Again, we join, as always, the matches after the races are over. And Bork and Angry Panda, the only hitmakers to win a race. Otherwise, it's all Throwmans with Bad Wolf, Slavic, Wet Yeti, Ninjanin, and Mikawak coming away with race balls. So a 5-on-2 initially. Usually, and I haven't looked at the numbers right now, but usually winning more of the races indicates a higher percentage chance of winning the match, Al, just through the numbers and how that works, right?
Usually.
But, usually. We'll see what happens. Well, it's not pretty, and it's pretty quick, because first up against the wall is Mikawak, then it's Wet Yeti, and Ninjanin goes quickly after a couple of failed attempts at getting some revenge. It's then Slavic, Mikawak getting revived after that, but then Alderdan, not to be confused with Dream Cheetah Alderin, goes, and very, very fast. We're in a 7-on-3, Alan. This does not look encouraging, especially when you've got Bork throwing at Bad Wolf and BPB with a ball. And remind me, Al, BPB was the player in round 1 who had 6 hits? That BPB?
I believe so, but let me double check.
I'm pretty sure. So
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so I think we can agree, a brutal start to the match. And with only 17 moves done, only one side has suffered casualties. A little bit of reparations maybe next, as Baggio gets double tapped. DG3 also apparently not showing on this, or I've got the wrong graphic up. DG3 also out, and then Mikawak out again. I think I've probably. I love that you're using the tools. It's. I don't know if the commissioner's being sarcastic or not. I genuinely don't, but I think we're using the tools you built.
Yeah, I just checked. I switched, unless he's in the same stat sheet I am. I just switched it from round 1 to round 2. I guess he saw. Oh yeah, he's there. He saw. Of course, he saw it. He's the commissioner.
Yeah, he sees everything. He's like omniscient. And all
of
those.
He's like a proud dad.
He's like a proud dad. Look at you doing the things I built for you so that you could do things better and still fail to do them
instead of just making shit up like I usually do.
And failing at the technical side. So as we go back to the match for move 33, we've got Sturk and DG3 out. Baggio revived, but it's Bad Wolf's down, and it's all down to Rollin' Par. And he's got 2 balls out, one against Cranky, one against Bork and Beans, and a ball at him from BPB. So Rollin' Par doesn't have enough balls here to take the game into a race-off if he were hit. But, you know, pride is a thing, right? So Rollin' Par versus the world, absolutely. And to be honest, if anyone can do it, I wouldn't bet against Phil. Like, he's got the chops. However, what ends up happening is that he gets eliminated, but before that happens, or rather after that happens, but before the game is over, because balls are still in the air, he catches to revive Wet Yeti and pass him a ball on his way to the bench. So now it's six hungry hitmakers with 1 dripping Yeti, and you can guess what happens next. It is a long exchange. There are lots of balls thrown, mostly between Bork and Yeti, but Cranky Day's eliminated, but not before Bork and Beans finally gets his trophy on the wall and takes a Wet Yeti bagged home. So 4 warm bodies to none, and Hitmaker's Guide to the Bollocks come away with another win and consign good throwmans to a now growing group, Al, of teams who've not won anything so far.
Yay.
Go us. How about that MVP, though? I think a couple of candidates for this one.
There's 2. There's one that I think statistically should get it, and that's Bork and Beans. He had 3 hits and won his race and did very well. I mean, 71% win percentage. That's great.
Yeah.
However, there's Angry Panda. Angry Panda got 2 catches. He has an 80% win percentage. They both won their race. It's pretty even. You know, I originally wrote down Bork and Beans, but I have a tough time not celebrating Angry Panda. He is one of my favorite people. He is delightful. I love him. And so I'm taking it from Bork and Beans and I'm giving it to Angry Panda.
Absolutely no favoritism there. Showed a perfectly neutral perspective on the game, with a caveat that catches generally are valued more highly than hits because they are more difficult to get. So
that's true. And I mean, if they want to share it, they can. But knowing Joe like I know him, he will not share that. It is.
Yeti coming in with I should have lost to Bork a few more times. You know what? I think you could have lost to Bork five more times and all of them hits, and it wouldn't have mattered because I think Al might still have given it to the Panda anyway.
Yeah. Listen, Panda's already in contender for like MVP of the week, and we've already mentioned players who have had better stats than him. He might also get Moneyball too. I'm not saying.
Oh no, it's always lovely to see Joe Hopple play some dodgeball. So I'm glad he's here. And apparently,
it's
so is
really, really great to have Joe back. Yeah, I love having him back in the league. My only regret is that I'm not on, or he's not on my team, I'm not on his team. But yes, knowing that Joe is back and around and playing is awesome.
Excellent. Well, good job, Joe. Well-deserved MVP there. As we move on to Court 5, and this sees the arrival of Murder on the Dodgeball Express, who have yet to play this season, coming up against Fellowship of the Fling. So Kincaid and Bahamut butting heads here as two captains, and I did love. And again, for anyone who doesn't do this, if you have the chance to pay attention to Cranky's naming, because he names every single match, right? So this was the Mordor Express, which just tickled me pink. If you do get the time, just go through those rounds, go through those courts, look at the names that Cranky gives it, because I tell you what, he puts some thought into it, and it's always amusing. Sometimes quite naughtily so, but this was just a really funny one. The Mordor Express coming into town. So, Al, I know I know we usually join matches when all the races are done, but this was just one of those games. So, Imam69 and Nadener apparently didn't get the memo that races are meant to be done in a certain amount of time. Not only had everyone else had their race, but also Darth Kronos had been eliminated by the time that we get here. So, Wheels has got to throw out at Viserys. Darth Kronos has already been eliminated. Meanwhile, Nadener and Imam69 are still wandering aimlessly towards the ball at a pace that can only be known as less than glacial. So wind forward. Dusto gets hit, and Darth Kronos gets revived, and now Nadener finally wins the race for the ball on the 12th action. So as many balls have been thrown as races were won, and then Nadener gets to their ball. Just amazing. I love stuff like this. But Murder on the Dodgeball Express. I keep wanting to call them Mordor. Dodgeball Express are behind. They're behind by a Dusto, having swapped him for Darth Kronos. Not a bad trade. And the next kind of rally of balls sees not a great deal happen, apart from Acox 89 joining Dusto on the bench. A little bit of bench warming going on there. Kincaid out at I love to see this, Al. Captain on captain action. Kincaid's taking a ball and he's like, yes, I'm going to eliminate my opponent. I don't care. Captain, straight for the head. Respect that. Nadener apparently not having enough of their race against Imam69 threw the ball back at them as well. So we can expect that to end maybe in round 4, I think. And then Darth Kronos throwing at Lex Neville. So this game, I think it's fair to say, starting slowly. Maybe it's a builder. Let's see. Well, I don't know if that went well for Kincaid. He seems to have been eliminated by Bahamut. And then Lex Neville, who has been making a clown out of me in ranked recently. I got to give him a shout. He's been absolutely making me look foolish, which I know is not that difficult, but he's been doing an extra special job of it. In fact, at one point he even said, you could send me a challenge if you want. I'm like, no, I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose on my terms. In ranked, like a pro. Lex Neville getting hit by Darth Kronos, who goes on a little bit of a tear. He takes out Lex Neville, tries to hit Serafina, gets her at the second attempt. Bahamut then getting eliminated by Viserys, of all people. How embarrassing. Who is then eliminated by said Darth Kronos, who's now on an absolute rampage. And the upshot of that is that Murder on the Dodgeball Express have got 5 players active, whilst it's only Penguin Army and Nadener. Not looking good if you're a fan of hobbits here right now. And I know David Suchet's no tall man, but he's no hobbit. I think he's probably just in above that. However, whilst Nadener does go by the wayside, we do see Kamas 2408, Vorizori, and the erudite Darth Kronos, who'd been up to now an absolute terror, all falling to the hand of Penguin Army, whilst Nadener is eliminated by Imam69, and Acox 89 revived into the bucket as well. So maybe hope here for the green team, we think. Penguin Army's got a ball out at Vorazori. Kamasa's got a ball out at Penguin, a zombie ball out at Penguin Army, and Naden are being thrown out by Wheels. Or maybe, yeah, I guess that must be, they must have doubled up there. We wind forward, and Wheels is taken out by Acox89, who's back after a revive. All of a sudden, it's 2-on-2, Al. Very intriguing. No throws out here. Everyone obviously assessing the court, trying to kind of like that, see who'll blink first. Now, we are at this stage of the game, Alan. It's worth mentioning. Who do you go for here? If you've got a green ball, who are you throwing at?
You throw it Imam first because you don't want her to be the last player standing.
Right? Wrong. You throw at Wheels, apparently, to try and eliminate him and make sure that he doesn't come back. And you leave Imam standing because obviously that's the play. I think Acox and Penguin have not been reading the script and probably have not watched enough of this show. Cranky Day, I went 0-4 to in ranked this last level. Yeah, Lex is an absolute animal in ranked at the moment. However, as we move forward, Penguin Army apparently defying the odds. Imam falling to Penguin Army, and her 3 balls, she takes out Acox, but she can't bag the Penguin. And the Penguin man survives retaliation to, of course, his format is dumb. You know what? A little secret, and probably the reason why I went about 40% in ranked last week. I never look at the format I play. I played 300 games, and I never once look at the format. I just play. I've had good weeks doing that, and last week just wasn't one of them. Never look at the format. Don't look at what my opponent's buying. Just play my turns. Done. What can possibly go wrong?
Easy peasy.
Apparently, everything. But just like that, Penguin Army, it seems single-handedly, Alan, I might be spoiling your powder here, but just looking at this game in depth, he seemed to single-handedly drag Fellowship of the Fling out of the mire there. I think they would have been going down to Orthanc if it hadn't been for him. But Murder on the Dodgeball Express, maybe my placement of them third from bottom last time was a bit of a prophecy, because they sure ain't in the middle of the pack this time around after that loss. So, having spoiled absolutely nothing, Al, and ruined nothing about your performance in the MVP category, who is it?
Normally I would say Penguin Army.
But is it going to Angry Panda this time?
3 hits and matches and 1 nice. It's Angry Panda. If I'm going to get to an anthropomorphized animal, I'm going to give it to Penguin. No, it's Penguin Army. Penguin Army did an amazing job in this match, and he got MVP.
Absolutely deserved as well. Like it's.
Penguin Army played 23 games this match.
Even that surprised me. I was like, I know Penguin Army played a lot of games, but 23? That's astounding.
Yeah.
That's as many games as I won in ranked last week. And I played about 300. No, that's not true. Yeah, 23 games is a lot in a round. And so and he did a great job. Like how many hits did you say? Was it 3 or 4?
It was 3 hits and 2 catches.
Oof. Yeah, that's a great
performance. Of his 23 games, 13 of them were targets. Like, it was 13 times he was thrown at.
And he didn't get hit once, did he?
No.
Oh,
he got 2 catches out of it. 13 games, he got 2 catches. That's pretty
13
good.
13 games not being hit is really, really good by anyone's books. Like that's a phenomenal performance in and of itself. If you don't even hit anyone, and he did 3 of those and 2 catches. So fantastic performance by Penguin Army. So I guess we'll review some places and then talk about the player of the round and the money ball. But so with the breakers changing a little bit, Crime and Punishment having been on 0 now get to 5 and 2 wins, but they are the bottom of the winning pack. We've got Catch a Mockingbird ahead of them with 6 breakers. We've got Catcher and the Spry ahead of them on 7 breakers. And right at the top, King of the Bollixy is Hitmaker's Guide, DG3's team, with breakers of 8, heading the pack of 2 wins, with 4 of them at the top. We've then got a very slim group in the middle there, Al, with a win and a loss each. Hit of the Baskervilles and Fellowship of the Fling. Hit of the Baskervilles with really good breakers there in the middle. Murder on the Dodgeball Express being saved by the fact that they've only lost 1 match. They are actually still in the middle of the pack there, with breakers of 6 because it was a close match. Just ahead of the great Catchup, who took a pew this round as well. So only 1 loss there. And then it's the 3 teams who've played every round and lost every round. Brand New World, Good Throwmans, and Catchup Retails, all sitting very unpretty, as TLC would say, right at the bottom. So getting carried by my team. Let's go. Do you know what, Dion? As captain, you've done your job. You've selected your champions. Yeah. Your job is done. You don't need to win games.
That's captains. You draft, and then you let your team carry you. If you don't draft a good enough team to be carried, then you don't deserve to win the season.
Absolutely. How very dare you, Yeti? I'm just spitting out truths. It's just truths. You know, it's not my fault. I mean, it is my fault because I keep losing, but it's not my fault. What was Sato responding to there?
I believe Sato might own the record for most games played in one match.
Right. Yes. Still, was that 500 or was it something more sensible like 40?
I don't remember the exact number.
I know it took like 1 month.
Frankie says it was about a 40 gamer.
Yeah. And I think it took that many days as well. It was like 30. No, Ian, come on.
Yeah.
You know that sensible numbers and a lack of superlatives is not the way forwards. We need to overrate this to the maximum. So that's where the table stands as we go into round 3. I can't remember who's taking a leg out in the next round, but I'm sure we'll hear from them in the training ground. And Al, who's up on the player of the round and that much coveted money ball?
All right. I originally had Angry Panda here, but apparently people had problems with that. So it is going to Penguin Army. He had the 3 hits, the 2 catches. He played a ton of games, came out on top, last man standing. It's Penguin Army.
Yeah, single-handedly winning your match, pretty much. That's a great. So congrats to Penguin Army. And the Moneyball, sorry, the player whose performance was the most valuable compared to their draft position, Al. Who's that?
I also had Angry Panda here.
Of course you did.
Not allowed. So I picked a different animal and went with Cyberduck.
Oh, what a lucky
he was a last round pick. He had a hit and a catch, and he won his race.
Hit, catch. So that's the hat trick, right? You win your race.
Yeah.
You get a hit, you get a catch. That's like the football or soccer to you North American ingrates. That's like the hat trick where you get one of each. Score with the left, score with the right, and score with your head. Brilliant.
Boom.
Fantastic. Well, congrats to Dave Mullins there, Cyberduck, for his Moneyball performance. And I think, Al, that's kind of... Did we actually have 0 technical... I don't want to jinx it now and have my computer restart or something, but I think we got through that with minimal. Should we say minimal technical issues?
Minimal technical issues.
Yeah, so maybe we can look forward to that for future rounds as well. Or maybe I'll do something deliberately so that people will have something to talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to mute myself eventually. We all know it's going to happen. So congrats to Hitmaker's Guide, topping after the second round. There's still a lot of rounds to play, though. Well, I mean, even, and I know I was kind of giving Kitty Man, Captain Tim a hard time, but like 0-2, like you can win out. We saw Vorazori's team in the season. They lost, I think, their first 2, and then just deigned never to lose again, and just won out and almost won the season, or did win the season. I can't remember exactly how that panned out, but it's absolutely possible. You know, we're still in a position where there's literally anything to play for, and a lot of these teams can have the Corey Bear phenomenon of kind of winning those 3 or 4 games, and then just everything goes wrong.
Yeah. Of course, maybe Corey that's what he's doing this season. He's taking a page out of Warizori instead of winning and having.
I think Daisy Tom is a very, very cunning captain. I think he's a very clever man. That's exactly what his gambit is here. He's doing that Swiss gambit where, you know, you lose your first 1 or 2, and then you get no, that's not how this works. It's not Swiss. I know what he's up to. It's smart though. I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it in my jellies. Technically, I found it difficult that you were never once muted, Ryan. I'm sorry, Yeti. I'll do a better job. I can make that up for you by giving you my beer of choice tonight, which is a Nutty Uncle. This is a peanut butter stout. Apparently indiscernible from I can't do it. There we go. There's the technical difficulty. I can't show you my beer because the background removal keeps removing it. It's a peanut butter stout. It's delicious. It's from the Dead Frog Brewery. I would highly recommend giving that a go. But I think, do you know what? Actually, I did see that there was a little bit of, well, do I want to call it salt? I probably do, but there was some sadness, Al, at the idea that we would be streaming on a Thursday, and encroaching upon other streamers' stuff. Now, I would just like to point out that this is literally the only evening I've had free all week, and will have free all week. And I finished work at 6 tonight, so it's not like we didn't try and find we just couldn't. It wasn't possible.
So we can be the bigger people and raid the other stream that is going on at this time, or we can be petty and just be like, good night, everybody, go to bed, don't look at anything else on Twitch.
I've got to work out
Guess which one it
is. Guess which one it is. Yeah, we're just gonna goodbye. No,
I think Frankie apparently foresaw this because he put earlier in the chat the command you need to do to raid.
Oh, did he? Fantastic. And what is that command?
I think it's /raid 55.
/ raid. Oh yeah, and then in brackets. No, not in brackets.
I don't know if it's in brackets.
Dusto55. No underscores.
Yep.
Well, let's see.
No underscore.
Sorry, no underscore.
No underscore.
No underscore. Invalid username. Well, that was wrong. So I guess
capital D USTO 55.
Let's try that. Is it a backslash or a /? It looks like that one. Well, that's what I just put. I just put that.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. We are raiding. So
yay! That was the technical problems, was trying to figure out how to type Dusto 55.
And there we go. We're raiding. I think I don't know how this works. I don't know if they can hear me. Followers only chat. You need to be a follower. Well, I guess I can skip that because I don't want to speak for SR Dodgeball, but you can now pin your cheers. Well, on that note, it's a successful raid. It's good night from me, and it's good night from him.
Yeah, good night.